going to talk about walking your goats. This is a huge thing in market goats. Market goats are an animal that don't like to walk easily, and so getting your goat to be a good walker in the showmanship ring is really going to make you stand out from everyone else. It's really going to show the judge that you spent time with your goat and that you are actually serious about this and you care about doing well, okay? So walking is a very, very big deal. So if you fail to take this seriously, getting out on that show ring, your goat is going to tell on you. The judge is going to know that you haven't worked with that goat. He's going to see that that goat isn't walking well, it's not walking quick enough, it's not doing what it should be doing to look good in the show ring, right? We always want to make our animals look the best we possibly can, and that means making sure that they can walk and they walk to their best advantage. And that means taking small steps. That means, teaching him on the fence, teaching him on the halter, moving to the collar, being able to use both. When you're outside the ring, you're going to need that halter. So training them with both is really important, okay? Now, I'm going to show you just a brief reminder of what I taught you guys in another video. You'll see that if you look for halter training with the goats, then that is in one of my videos. And then you can always go to my website, mastershowmanship.com, and that will give you a list of all those videos that we've done. So you can look at those, okay? Once you're done with that training on the fence, we're taking them off the fence, and then we're teaching them on the halter to walk, okay? I'll show you guys some real live videos of me with a little Godot kid that I pulled out of the barn, and she's not trained yet, so it'll kind of give you a good idea of what you're going to do and how you're going to work with them when they're at that point and they're just little and they're just learning, right? So with the halter, you can use like a nylon halter. These are like a rope halter that you're just putting on their face. The ones that have a nylon and then rings and a chain, that is not good for these little guys. We don't really ever need that because the chain is just going to be pulling on their nose. If they get big and pushy, then that can help you a little bit by pulling on that chain to get their attention. But generally we stick with just a normal halter, and then we use the collar for more of our teaching them to walk well and pretty out in the show ring. If you're using a show halter, that's a different thing. There's a very special halter that some people use. You can use a show halter at some places that's allowed. Some places still require just the collar because of the way it makes the goat walk, okay? Alright guys, so this is where we start our goats. We put them on the fence, we tie them to the fence like this, and we let them fight the halter and learn to calm down. And you're going to touch them, you're going to handle them, and you're going to wait. It's going to take you 2, 3, sometimes it takes a week to train them. Usually it goes pretty fast. You're teaching these goats how to respect that halter and to understand it. And as soon as they're perfectly calm on the fence and you can touch them and do whatever, that's when we're going to pull them off and we're going to start doing some of that training of the actual walking process. So I did do another video on halter training on the fence, so you can look for that and learn that first part and that first step really, really well, so you know how to tie the goat, put the halter on, and all that. And then after that, the next step is teaching them to walk on the halter and on the collar. All right, so here we are out with the goats. We got a halter on her. We're just you're gonna take that halter and you're gonna gently pull and ask her to take one step forward, and then you're gonna release that halter and give her some slack so she realizes that when she does walk towards you, then she's doing the right thing, right? So you're just taking that halter, pull gently, wait till she takes that step, and then release a little bit if she'll let you, and then let her kind of figure out, okay, I'm getting that release. And it'll take her a little bit. As you can see, she doesn't understand it, but after a little bit, she'll catch on pretty darn quickly. A pull and then release is basically what you're doing. It's pretty simple, and it works really well. Once you get from that, you're going to move to just walking them around. You're not going to have to be sitting there waiting every single step. They'll learn to follow you, and it's amazing how fast they learn these little steps. The collar that you use, I'm going to show you a couple of them. You're going to buy a collar that comes with this chain. If you're buying a market goat collar, a lot of times it's going to have a chain here that's got these clips on your leather portion. You see that? And these clips are clipped to the chain. and the chain goes under the chin and it clips here. And then you can adjust it to the length and the size of the goat's head that you need. This is a really big piece of leather. It's not ideal for these show goats. You want something small and tidy, but not something that can break easily. This chain is what a lot of these come with. And you'll notice that in dairy goat world, they use chains, and sometimes at ABGA shows, they'll use these as well. But with these market wethers, we take this chain off and we replace it with a plastic chain, okay, like this one, all right? And that way, when you drive those goats, it's gentle on them and they can handle it and they're willing to drive for longer. A goat driving in this has this pushed against their skin and they're gonna get irritated pretty fast, right? It's not very comfortable. So we switch it out with something plastic. These thicker ones are fine. Once you pull them up on the goat's neck, they're not really gonna be noticeable. You just don't want it to be too huge and noticeable when you're walking around the ring, okay? And the leather part is nice and tidy. This is the part that you see most of the time, okay? And so that small is good. And then if it's too big, you can either cut these or you can even take your little clips and you can clip it down to another section so that it's tighter. But that leaves something overhanging, which is not ideal because then you have bulkiness, right? And we want to keep everything tidy, professional, and making it look, professional in a neat way that you're serious about doing well in showmanship, right? So we'll go ahead, I'll just, on the goat that's out in the barn, I just have a really big leather collar on her. She's just a doe kid out there, so I don't have one of these special ones on her, but it gives you the idea of how you can train her and get her moving and walking, and training these goats to walk is just about going really slow. And in fact, they learn really fast if you have patience and you go slow and just pull, release, let them have a break, pull, release, let them have a break. Get them used to being with you, and then as they get better, you can switch to that collar and just walk them around and just walk and walk and walk. Honestly, with market goats, you're going to do a lot more walking than you are driving because you want those goats to walk really well in that showing, like I said, especially if your show does collars and you're willing to show in a collar and prove to the judge that you were able to train your goats in a collar, then that's going to really make you stand out as a person who really was dedicated to training their goat to walk and doing a good job of it. So those are just some things that we're going to talk about in today's video, and these things here are to get you started. So check this out.
All right, so here I'm just put a halter around her neck, and I'm still doing some of the halter and just getting her used to wearing that collar. And then as she gets used to that, we move forward. This baby obviously is not really halter trained yet, and yet I'm still switching to the collar just for the sake of this video. So your goats should be walking on that halter before you switch to the collar, and this is going to be way easier. But I'll just show you kind of how it would look on a baby who's just learning, and we'll just you'll kind of see how, you got to be patient. You got to be able to wait with that baby and just slowly and surely just stay calm and that go to learn little bit by little bit, right? All right, so at this point we're mostly using the halter, and then we're just giving the goat the feel of what the collar is up on their neck, and we're pulling with the halter still, okay? So once you've done that, then you're gonna switch, and you can use either the halter to pull, and then that collar again, you're just keeping it up behind them so they're getting the feel of that. Or what you can even do they're going to be better trained than this little girl. You can even keep the halter loose and pull a little more with the collar, or a little bit of both, right? And we're just always pulling and then stopping, gently making her take a step and then stopping, right? There's no need to just drag her around. That doesn't help at all. It's patience and staying calm that really makes all the difference, okay? Now we're going to switch and go ahead and loosen up that halter a lot and see how she behaves just as well, pretty much, with the collar. And of course, this is just me out there playing with her. She's never been worked with before. And your goat, if you're going to the show, you need to be doing a lot with those guys, okay?
Hey guys, I just wanted to hop in and say thank you for watching my videos. If you want to see more videos like this one, check out my page and subscribe so you can see them all. We got lots of videos on all the animals, as well as books. I wrote actual showmanship books on how to train and master showmanship, to train those animals and then master showmanship to really get in there, impress those county fair judges. Or we have some great tips in the books as well to impress judges at a higher level and figure out how to make it to that next step and begin the process of becoming an advanced showman throughout the state and national level as well. So if you want to check out those books, they're called Show Your Way to the Top. We have sheep, goat, swine, and beef. And all three of those books are just packed full of information. I've done interviews with other people. I have experience myself. I have information from people who read the book, people who shared their thoughts with me, and all sorts of stuff that'll help you out. Lots of advice from lots of people, and great tips in those books. So if you're interested, check those out.